Hi everyone and welcome back to Wilde Reads. My name is Dave. Welcome back to another video, and this is the part one. I think this is going to be a part one of my October book haul. We are only 6 days into October, but I've got some really good books to show you already. Today was Bookshop Day here in the UK. Bookshop Day is a campaign around the Books in My Bag campaign, which I think is run by National Book Tokens, and it's a day where we celebrate the wonders of independent bookshops up and down the country. So I went to my local one in Sevenoaks, the Sevenoaks Bookshop, and I got a couple of books. And I also, over the road, they've got a really good Oxfam bookshop as well. So I popped in there, and I've got a couple of books to show you that I've been sent from publishers. So let's crack on. I hope everyone's okay. Has everyone bought anything good lately? There seems to be, I don't remember October being this good for new releases last year or in recent years. There does seem to be a wealth of brilliant new books out at the moment. Of course, Christmas is coming as well, so the publishers have one eye on the tills. There are some absolutely stonkingly good books out at the moment, and I have got some of them. So what did I buy brand new on Bookshop Day? Well, the first one I got was this. This is Ghost Wall by Sarah Moss. I do have The Tidal Zone down there on one of the TBR shelves. I can see it from here, which I haven't got to yet, and I know that made a really big splash a few years ago, or a couple of years ago. When did it come out? A couple of years ago. And it seemed like everyone was reading it at the time. But when that happens to a book, sometimes it puts me off. So I haven't read the Tidal Zone yet, but I do plan to get to this one probably before the end of the year. So it's quite thin. It's only 150 odd pages, and it's got this really interesting cover. You won't be able to see this from here, but see this like willow weaving. Well, this is all embossed on the cover, so it actually feels like it as well, which is incredible. And it's a gorgeous book, published by Granta. Teenage Sylvie and her parents are living in a hut in Northumberland as an exercise in experimental archaeology. Her father is a difficult man, obsessed with imagining and enacting the harshness of Iron Age life. Haunting Sylvie's narrative is the story of a bog girl, a young woman sacrificed by those closest to her, and the landscape both keeps and reveals the secrets of past violence and ritual as the summer builds to its harrowing climax. That's Ghost Wall by Sarah Moss. That's one of the new books I got from Sevenoaks Bookshop on Bookshop Day. The other one was, now this completes now my TBR for October, because recently in my October I said I was going to get this, and this is gorgeous as well. This is Melmoth by Sarah Perry, and again, hopefully you can look at this cover. This cover is absolutely gorgeous. Really nice. Comes with a lovely little bookmark as well, a Melmoth bookmark, and on the actual book you get this detail. I love, it's always a nice surprise, isn't it, when you take the dust jacket off of a hardback. It's always a lovely, oh look at this. Well, this is different. This is double covered. So look, this is obviously a mistake from the factory, because this book has a double dust jacket. Look at that. You take one off and it leaves you with one. Let's just put the bookmark there. So yeah, so well, serpent's tail, I have a spare dust jacket. If you run short at the in the packaging factory, let me know, because I have a spare one here. Should I do a giveaway? Should I do a giveaway for a Sarah Perry Melmoth dust jacket? There you go, brand new, unused. But the actual cover, the cover is gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful. And as I was saying, it's always a nice surprise when you find some extra detail on the, I don't know what the back cover is. No, the back cover's plain. It's always a nice surprise when you find the extra detail on the boards of the book. Anyway, oh, and look at the end papers as well. It's just gorgeous. Books are gorgeous nowadays. We're very lucky to be living in an age where the production values of books are, I've spoken about it time and time again, but the production values of books nowadays are so good. they're the best they've ever been. 20 years ago, Helen Franklin did something she cannot forgive herself for, and she has spent every day since barricading herself against its memory. But the sheltered life she has created for herself is about to change. A strange manuscript has come into her possession, and its contents have the power to unravel every strand of her fragile safety net. It is filled with testimonies from the darkest chapters of human history, which all record sightings of a tall, silent woman in black, with unblinking eyes and bleeding feet. Melmoth, the loneliest being in the world. Condemned to walk the earth forever, she tries to beguile the guilty and lure them away for a lifetime wandering alongside her. Fabulous. Can't wait to get into that one. That is on my TBR this month. I might even get to that next week. Okay, so that's the end of the brand new books. In from publishers at the moment, we have this very early proof. This is out 21st of March. This is M for Mammy. This is from Two Roads and is written by Eleanor O'Reilly. I don't know a whole lot about it. So this is a heartwarming debut about love and language and the power of a family to heal itself. M for Mammy is a gloriously funny, bittersweet debut novel. Reminiscent of the work of Roddy Doyle, it follows the fortunes of the August family, as they struggle to cope when Annette, the mother, suffers a stroke and is sent away to Dublin for rehabilitation. So this is out 21st of March. I've not TBR'd it yet, but thank you very much for Two Roads for sending me that. It does seem like my kind of book. Also in, and I was super, super happy to get this. Ooh. You may remember me mentioning, or have I mentioned it before? I don't know if I have, but if you know me, if you know this channel, you will know that I love the work of Ruth Hogan. Now, recently, Ruth Hogan, it came out in the bookseller and it came out on the social media. So The Wisdom of Sally Red Shoes came out this year. A couple of weeks ago, she announced that her third novel, Queenie Malone's Paradise Hotel, is due to come out in February or March. I think it's February. In hardback. The proofs are coming out early next month. The proofs will be available next month. But I have bagged myself, and I've got Lisa, Ruth's editor at Two Roads, to thank for this, and of course Ruth herself. But I have bagged an early copy of it, and this is not even the proof. This is or the proof proper, and I didn't know this was a thing. I didn't know there was such a thing as pre-proofs. I don't know if they're called pre-proofs. They're like pre-production proofs. So they're like, this is basically the stage it gets to probably after the manuscript has been handed in and the final edits have been done. But this is Queenie Malone's Paradise Hotel by Ruth Hogan. I am halfway through it already. It arrived by courier last night. So thank you, Two Roads. And thank you to Ruth Hogan for I'm halfway through it already and I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, it's going to be brilliant. And the proofs are out next month for this. So if you've read either of Ruth Hogan's first two books, I can guarantee you are going to love this. This is absolutely brilliant. Okay, so I went to the Oxfam Bookshop as well and got some second-hand books as well. So just briefly, we have selected poems by William Blake. I've spoken about it before, but I really want to get into poetry and discover what I know enough about the poetry I like to know that I like William Blake. Now, I know that he's probably not entirely fashionable in the world of poetry, but I like it. I like William Blake's poetry, and I think that's the main thing, isn't it? If you like it, read it. Same with books. Same with novels. If you like it, read it. What else did I get? An Introduction to English Poetry by James Fenton, described as a brilliant little book by the Daily Torygraph. James Fenton's An Introduction to English Poetry is a masterclass for poets, critics and lovers of literature everywhere. Simply and elegantly written and discussing the work of poets as wide-ranging as Auden, Dylan Thomas, Tennyson, Kipling, Milton and Blake. It covers all variety of poetic practice in English. So I picked that up. It was only about £1. So looking forward to getting into that one. This one is another non-fiction book. This is The Art of Fiction, which is a literary criticism book. a collection of his articles from the Independent on Sunday and the Washington Post by David Lodge, published by Penguin. What else did I get here? Staying On, winner of the Booker Prize by Paul Scott. This won the Booker Prize in 1977 when it was first published by Macmillan. So has anyone read that? Has anyone read Staying On by Paul Scott? I thought I'd get it because it won the Booker Prize and it was only cheap. The next one I got is Somerset Maugham's The Parcel View, containing the summing up and a writer's notebook. This is a collection of stories and essays, I believe. So this volume, which is uniform with the complete short stories. Oh, so this contains Somerset Maugham's 2 autobiographical books, The Summing Up and a writer's notebook, together with a special preface by the author. And that looks really nice as well. Next one I got is a book on reading and books. I love books on books. Books about books are one of my favourite non-fiction topics. And this is True Stories and Curious Incidents from a Provincial Library by Chris Palling, published by Constable. It came out a few years ago, and it's supposed to be very, very funny as well. Then I got a couple of George Orwell's. Look at these old Penguin covers. Burmese Days and a Clergyman's Daughter by George Orwell. Then I've got a right chunkster here. Look at this. This is The Assassin's Cloak by, and the lady that served me in Oxfam said that she's read this twice. And she keeps on dipping in and out of it. This is an anthology of the world's greatest diarists. I'm a bit of a voyeur when it comes to diaries. I love dipping in and out of people's diaries. I find them fascinating. And this is a collection of all kinds. So it's in date order. And it's the sort of book that you can dip in and out of. It is a bit of a chunkster. Non-fiction corner might need a bit of tidying up before I put that on the shelf. Next, what have I got here? Dear Fahrenheit 451, a librarian's love letters and breakup notes to her books. This looks absolutely fascinating. Have you ever wished you could tell your favourite books just what they mean to you? Or wanted to give a piece of your mind to the must-read book that you wish you hadn't? Librarian Annie Spence has done just that, writing letters to the books under her care, from love letters to Matilda and the Goldfinch, to snarky breakup notes to 50 Shades of Grey and The Hobbit. Anne's letters will make you laugh, remind you why you love your favourite books, and give you lots of new entries for your reading list. That seems absolutely really fascinating little book. The next one I've got, I'm a big fan of P.G. Wodehouse. I love P.G. Wodehouse, grew up really reading his work. And this is a nice little Wodehouse companion, which is quite old. I'm not sure when this came out. This came out in 1981. So a Wodehouse companion. And the next two, I've got John McGregor, So Many Ways to Begin. This is published by Bloomsbury, an homage to ordinary people and ordinary things, to the parts of our lives that often go unspoken. David Carter cannot help but wish for more, that his wife Eleanor could be the sparkling girl he once found so irresistible, that his job as a museum curator could live up to the promise it once held, that his daughter's arrival could have brought him closer to Eleanor, but a few careless words spoken by his mother's friend have left David restless with the knowledge that his whole life has been constructed around a lie. Really looking forward to that. John McGregor, So Many Ways to Begin. And the last book, I never know how to pronounce this name. So it's Louis de Benier's, Notwithstanding. And this is a comic novel published by his Vintage Books. Welcome to the village of Notwithstanding, where a lady dresses in +4s and shoots squirrels. A retired general gives up wearing clothes altogether. A spiritualist lives in a cottage with the ghost of her husband, and people think it quite natural to confide in a spider that lives in a potting shed. Based on recollections of the village he grew up in, Notwithstanding is a funny, astute and moving depiction of a charming, vanished England. That's it, quite a few there to get through. Some to add to the TBR this month and some to add to future TBRs. Did anyone else go out on Bookshop Day? Has anyone been to their favourite independent bookshop today to celebrate Bookshop Day. It's really, really important that we get behind independent bookshops so we don't end up losing them. That's it. That's all I have for you. I will be back on Wednesday with another video as usual. Whatever you're doing this week, enjoy your books. And I'll see you back here on Wednesday for another BookTube video. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.